Και ακολουθεί η Τιμητική. Θα γίνει διάλεξη από το... Ναι. Η Τιμητική διάλεξη Γεράσιμος Παλημέρης, από τον επιλεχθέντα να δώσει αυτή τη διάλεξη. Δεν είναι μαζί μας σήμερα και θα το παρουσιάσουν η κυρία Ανδρούδη και η κυρία Μόσου και η κυρία Ανδρούδη.
Hi, Manfred. Θα το βγάλετε online να μας δει λίγο, να ξεκινήσουμε. Είναι online, ο κύριος Zierhut.
Hello.
Hi, Manfred. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
It's an honor and pleasure.
Would prefer to be with you there, but...
Yes. I will καλώ και την πρόεδρο της εταιρείας, την κυρία Μόσχου, να ανεβεί στο podium. I will continue in Greek because I have to present you in Greek. We have a big audience. We have a full house, 330 registration in person and 200 people virtually.
Wonderful.
I will continue in Greek. For those of you who don't know Professor Zierhut, full screen να έχω. Βάλουμε λίγο την παρουσίαση. Αδέρφια, αγαπητά μέλη της IOIS και της ελληνικής εταιρείας για τη μελέτη των οφθαλμικών φλεγμονών και λοιμόξεων, θα συνεχίσουμε την τιμητική διάλεξη το πρόγραμμά μας με την τιμητική διάλεξη του Γεράσιμου Παλημέρη. Για όσους δεν γνωρίζουν, ο κύριος Παλημέρης είναι ο εμπνευστής και ιδρυτής της ελληνικής εταιρείας για τη μελέτη των οφθαλμικών φλεγμονών και λοιμόξεων. Ιδέα που πήρε σάρκα και οστά το 2004 με την ίδρυση της εταιρείας. Ο κύριος Παλημέρης είναι ο πατέρας της ραγοειδίτιδας στην Ελλάδα, συγγραφέας ενός δίτομου βιβλίου αναφορικά με τις ραγοειδίτιδες και εκδότης των οφθαλμολογικών χρονικών για 15 χρόνια περίπου. Ήταν ο πρώτος Έλληνας μέλος της International Uveitis Study Group και μάλιστα με πρότεινε για να γίνω κι εγώ μέλος. Έχει τιμηθεί με πολλά βραβεία στον ελληνικό και διεθνή χώρο για την προσφορά του στην οφθαλμολογία. Την τιμητική διάλεξη Γεράσιμου Παλημέρη θα δώσει για φέτος ο Manfred Zierhut. Είναι καθηγητής οφθαλμολογίας στο Tübingen και πρόεδρος της International Uveitis Study Group. Ξεκίνησε από το Ανόβερο και αργότερα δραστηριοποιήθηκε στο Tübingen. Μετεκπαιδεύτηκε στις ραγοειδίτιδες στο Harvard, δίπλα στο διάσημο Steve Foster. Και από το 1990 είναι καθηγητής στο Tübingen. Είναι διευθυντής έκδοσης στο περιοδικό Clariminology και Inflammation για πολλά χρόνια, περιοδικό που εστιάζει στις οφθαλμικές φλεγμονές, ενώ υπήρξε 2 φορές πρόεδρος της IUSG από το 2009 έως το 2013 και από το 2018 έως και σήμερα. Έχει πληθώρα δημοσιεύσεων στο PubMed, κεφάλαια σε βιβλία, έχει οργανώσει περίπου 50 συνέδρια και workshop, ενώ μετρά περίπου 1.200 διαλέξεις. Το γνώρισα την πρώτη φορά στα early years μου το 2006 στο Παγκόσμιο Συνέδριο Οφθαλμολογίας και είχα την τιμή να συνδιοργανώσουμε το International Symposium in Uveitis το 2012 στο Σάνι. Ο Manfred είναι από τους λίγους συναδέρφους που δείχνει τόσο ενδιαφέρον για την επιμόρφωση των συναδέρφων στη ραγοειδίτιδα και διοργανώνει υπό την αιγίδα της IUSG ένα course 5 ημερών αποκλειστικά για ραγοειδίτιδα στη Βενετία. Εκεί ουσιαστικά, εδώ βλέπετε τους συμμετέχοντες σε αυτό το course και εκεί ουσιαστικά οι συμμετέχοντες αυτοί έχουν την ευκαιρία να εκτεθούν από το πρωί μέχρι το βράδυ σε όλο το φάσμα της ραγοειδίτιδας και να μάθουν να εντρυφήσουν στη ραγοειδίτιδα. Και φυσικά συνδυάζεται με το καρναβάλι. Γιατί ο Manfred Zierhut, εκτός από δεν είναι μονοδιάστατος, θα σας πω ότι έχει ευρεία μουσική παιδεία και μια εξαιρετική συλλογή από CD και δίσκους, ενώ πραγματικά ζηλεύω το γεγονός ότι έχει επισκεφτεί τα πιο απίθανα μέρη στον πλανήτη, όπως αποδεικνύουν και οι φωτογραφίες. Και την πολυδιάστατη προσωπικότητά του συμπληρώνει η λατρεμένη του οικογένεια, οι 2 κόρες, οι γαμπροί και τα εγγόνια του. Το θέμα της διάλεξης του σήμερα θα είναι Uveitis, how to bring knowledge to the world.
Dear members of the Pan-Hellenic Congress of Ocular Inflammations and Infection, it's a great honor to present today to you the Gerasimov Palimiris Honorary Lecture. And as a topic, I choose how to bring uveitis knowledge to the world. And this will be done when I tell you a little bit about education as a new goal of the International Uveitis Study Group. My history started when I studied medicine in Hanover and Tübingen. Actually, even my first talks were about ocular inflammation, especially HIV, when the first publications came out. Then I went to Harvard Medical School from 89 to 19, visiting my only mentor, Stephen Forster. I've learned tremendous at that time. And at home, I immediately started a uveitis and dry eye special clinics. And it turned out that eye and systemic disease is actually the field I would love to continue to work on. With that idea, later on, some years later, I started the so-called ETAL workshops, which are very specialized workshops in this monastery here, in this special room with Chinese tapestries. I think the most impressive thing is that we had approximately 25% of presentations and 75% of discussions. So this was a meeting of interdisciplinary people, doctors. Well, we also had a nice organ concert at one time, and we visited the beauties in the surrounding of Bavaria at that time. And if you see here on this list, the topics, you will see a lot of interdisciplinary projects. You will see corneal transplantation, joint, you will see skin and the eye, you will see Behçet's disease, you'll find ocular allergy, but also pure immunology topics like autoimmunity and the eye and mucosal immunology. And this was finally also published in these 11 books containing all the presentations. And this was some great work, but it's also, I think, necessary to keep these ideas also of the discussion in mind. But let's go to the International Uveitis Study Group. This is a group of experts. If you want to participate, you should have 5 years working in uveitis after your residency. You should need 10 publications, at least 5 as first author. And in this moment, we have approximately 100 persons worldwide in this group. Founded in 1978, this first was a meeting of friends, which lead to discussion of case reports and new research publications. I personally became a member since 1996. At that time, you still have to give a presentation to enter this group. And even in that time, I started with interferon alpha and Behçet's disease, showing actually some fantastic results, which were also shown later on by other scientists. Well, some of the meetings the IUSG is organizing are one, the International Symposium on Uveitis. We had 9 until now. I had the honor to organize the 7th ISU in Constance in 2008, and it's a big honor together with Sophia to organize this 8th one in the Sani complex in close to Thessaloniki in 2012. I also had the honor to be for 2 periods the president. Still, I am the president of the ISG. In addition to these more scientific, super scientific meetings of ISU, we created Inflammatio as a little bit more practical meeting. We still have no more than 2 yet due to Corona. They have been done in Chennai and Tel Aviv. With 2008, I took over the Ocular Immunology and Inflammation Journal. And finally, I would love to mention that I also was for a long time the president of the German Uveitis Patient Interest Group, also a group of people which need a lot of education. So let me show you a little bit about the pictures from the Constance meeting in 2008, beautiful Constance with our presidents at that time, now Singh Rao. Here are some photos from our trip on the boat on Lake Constance. with Rubens and his wife from Brazil. And here also two pictures from the ISG evening, where we had music illustrating the history of the ISG. In 2012, again, Sophia Andrulli was the organizer here, and we have a lot of pictures here from the Indian group, the Italian group, John Campen, Rupesh, India again, Yoti and Ratinam, and here our friends from Great Britain, Australia, and Doug Jabs from US. And here a picture from our three previous presidents of the ISG, finally not to forget Bahram Bodegi, the president of the IOIS. So between 2000 and 2007, actually, the idea came up how to bring more education for ophthalmologists about uveitis. So for this, I thought we need a strong program. We decided about 6 days. A beautiful spot, why not going to Venice? Exceptional time point. Carnival is really beautiful. At that time, it's a little bit cold, but it's beautiful. And we started the first meeting in 2007. In 2019, we already finished our 7th course. Let me bring up some pictures from that time. This is amazing, beautiful Venice. This is the Isola di San Servolo, here a little bit outside of the big fish of Venice. And this is the entrance from the International University, where we are living there in a hotel, and where also the rooms here on top were the rooms where we give the lectures. This is the flyer for the last Venice course. And you will see here's a whole faculty, which always more or less changes. So as a rule, there should be no one participating more than twice in the Venice meeting. And here you see all the topics, which are probably better illustrated here in the timetable, starting with a welcome reception on Saturday, going through Friday, ending up with a final assessment. And you see that Tuesday is only half a day program, because there is Mardi Gras, the carnival, and we're all going together to the carnival. We'll end up this with, for all participants, with a certificate. Of course, we also know how to celebrate the evenings. And actually, sometimes it's a bit critical with Agua Alta. We really had some problems, but that happened only once. And you see that we tried to manage this here with Monsif Kerala, more or less. Well, the beauty definitely in Venice, besides the city, is also the carnival, as you can see here. And as a typical procedure on Tuesday, we have a mask session here at 6 o'clock at one of these places, with and without masks. And this is our group photo, pretty unique, I think, in ophthalmology. Here, Stephen Foster with his wife, and Nick Jones here with a very weird mask, and that's my mask at that time. Well, one of the important points is that we also can give grants to these people. So they get more or less everything free, a travel grant up to 800 euros. And we always were able to invite a lot of people, mostly from Africa, as you can see here. Here, Nick Jones with his wife on the way to the center of Venice. Here, Nick in action. And here you see me staying actually, together with all the grant winners. And probably you can look for this person. You probably may think about where she comes from. I had a chance to visit her country and her office, which is Kiribati. If you are not aware of Kiribati, actually, that's the real pronunciation. Yeah, then you see here the Southern Sea, you see Hawaii, you see here Fiji, and in between 3,000 kilometers of islands, the islands of Kiribati. And the doctor I've shown you, the ophthalmologist, she is the only ophthalmologist of the whole country. It's simply beautiful, but actually, it's also very, very poor. You can imagine. So I had a chance to visit her actually in her office. And this is actually a very nice office. And it was beautiful to add this as my impression to the Venice information I got. So then John Campen approached me and said, Manfred, why not bringing the whole Venice course to Africa? These people are very, very much interested in education. Why not joining us in Addis Ababa, where he lives? So, of course, we did that. In 2018, finally, we went to Ethiopia, to Addis Ababa. And this is the room together here with Jim Rosenbaum. Here's John Campen, Ilknur Tugal Tutkun, and Michael Kramer, together with our friends from Sudan, which were very, very eager. And you see the same program actually as we did more or less in Venice. We invited people from Africa also to participate in the meeting from other countries from Africa. And here you can see us in the small group meeting, which is always the highlight from Thursday. Some impressions from the beauty of Ethiopia, the document of the certificate, document of honor from these people. And of course, we also traveled a little bit to this fantastic country here, an area which is 150 meters beyond sea level. And here John with his whole family, the Danakil Depression. Another picture from that one. Well, and that was so successful that in 2020, actually more or less my last visit outside of Germany was the second Uveitis African course, and that was done in Accra. So with this, actually, I was able to travel a lot of these countries. Hopefully, I will be able to continue that when we have Corona behind us, and we'll see what happens. So let's discuss shortly some more recent projects of the ISG. So this is actually in supporting the general ophthalmologist. Something we developed is a patient support system. If you go to our website, you will find an invitation. If you, as not uveitis specialist, have a problem with uveitis, please contact us. There's a patient presentation system, and you should put together a presentation, a file, and send that to the moderator of the month. And after improving your presentation, finalizing the presentation, this will be sent to all ISG members, and they have 2 weeks' time to comment this your patient, and that's all free for you. And please, it has to be free also for your patient. Second one definitely is the webinars. We started in January 21. Coming weekend actually is the 12th webinar about toxoplasmosis, and we are planning 36. And as you can see here, this is the webinar flyer here for a meeting which was done in July. And you're more than welcome to participate. You can check these presentations, the whole webinars on demand, so they're all on our website. Finally, if you're more and more interested in uveitis, why not become a uveitis expert? And then we offer you to join ISG members. Even also on our website, there's an education plan where you can see there are different grants, different time periods, even fellowship and residency. And depending on the country, you have all the list of all the uveitis ISG members. And it's funny, there's Germany just a little bit in front of Greece, and here we are both together, Sophia, offering hopefully quite a lot of occasions for everyone who wants to join one of the ISG members. Finally, we also want to support countries without ISG members, and that brings us to the project of Ambassador of the ISG. Here you can see clearly all the yellow countries have ISG members, but we now have also ambassadors which take care for these green countries here in the way of looking for patients, education, and hopefully later on also congresses after Corona. And please find here the list of ambassadors which are really supporting countries from South America, from Africa here, from Near East, from originally Turkish-speaking countries, from India associated countries, from countries from South Far East, and Peter McCluskey is in charge actually for countries like this one, the Fiji Islands. They also need our support, the only education system there in the Southern Sea. So finally, this goes on. This project of working groups is a support of specialized ISG members. And the idea is that uveitis is part of a systemic disease. With this in mind, we need more cooperation with interested scientists of associated disorders. So this is besides education, that's simply also science. So we have now going on, starting a lot of work in vitreoretinal lymphoma together with neurologists. We have new guidelines for the diagnosis of vitreoretinal lymphoma done in Tel Aviv. We are working in groups for tuberculosis, sarcoidosis, Behçet's disease, toxoplasmosis, and finally also HIV infections. So in conclusion, ISG and education, research, we are having the journal available, Ocular Immunology and Inflammation, free for all ISG members. And we have the working groups for the ISG members who really want to go in personal additional education. If you want to get specialized in uveitis, then we can offer you our uveitis courses, which are in Venice or Africa. Hopefully we can restart in 2013. We can offer you always the webinars. Again, they are on demand, possible to see. And you can also join an ISG member when you bring a grant with you, and you can finance this. For general ophthalmologists, we strongly offer you the patient support system, which actually is also a very high type of education for our ISG members. And for the non-ISG countries, we still have the ambassador support, which hopefully brings in also some more and more interest for uveitis in such countries. So with this, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. Thanks very much.
Congratulations, Professor Zierhut. It is an honor for myself to award you. Due to the pandemic conditions, you are not with us live, but you are virtually. However, this is not a virtual plaque. It is a live one, which will be sent to you within the next few days by surface mail. Thank you once again for being with us.
Oh, thanks so much for this great honor. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Manfred. Thank you for everything. There are no words to describe. You are a great inspirator for, you were a great inspirator for me, you and Steve Foster. And I hope there are many more years to come and you continue to inspire younger people than me. Thank you so much.
That will be my pleasure. Thanks.
Και ευχαριστούμε και εσάς που παρευρεθήκατε σήμερα.